Hey Frig fam, Corbin here again from Northwest Scent. So today we're going to be doing some first impressions. Now initially I didn't think I was going to be able to put a video out this weekend just because it's a really busy weekend for me because I have a lot of training going on. However, on my way back home today I decided to stop at Perfumania and just to see what they had. And they actually had two fragrances from the house of Penhaligon'S. One of them I've been very interested in for a while. The other one maybe not so much, but they were both extremely discounted, enough for me just to buy both of them. So I picked them both up and that's what we're going to be talking about today. My first impressions on these two fragrances from Penhaligon'S. So if you want to see what I have to say about these fragrances, please stick around. But first, let's roll that intro. Alright, welcome back. So like I said, we're talking about my first impressions on two fragrances from the house of Penhaligon'S. Not new fragrances by any means, but new to my collection, so let's just dive straight into it. The first one, which is the one that I've been kind of interested in for a while, this is the Duke, and this is coming from, I forgot the name of the collection, but they're the ones with like the trophy heads or whatever, the different animal heads as the cap. And this one seems pretty interesting. This is gonna be my first one from this collection. And then the other one is right here. This is Orange Blossom, which this is actually a vintage bottle. They had a bunch of these instead of the newer bottles. I actually checked the batch code and it's from 2013. So I have an 8-year-old bottle here. And then here's the price actually. It was insanely discounted. I don't know if it's gonna show up or not, but it retails $150 and they had it in store for $49.99. So it was at like a 67% off discount. I was like, heck yeah, why not? Let's pick it up. So I think we're gonna be starting with this one for my first impressions. So I'm gonna pull this thing out of the box and I'll be right back. Okay, so I pulled the bottle out and here it is. It's a really nice looking bottle. Like I said, it's called Orange Blossom and the juice is orange as well with an orange and black bow tie. So that's pretty cool. I do like the appeal of the bottle. Looks really nice and classy. Now I'm gonna read you guys the notes here really quick and then we're gonna spray it on. So in the top notes you have neroli, violet leaf, bergamot, pink pepper, cardamom, and Amalfi lemon. In the mid notes you have orange, tuberose, jasmine, peach blossom, orchid, and rose. And then the base notes, you have musk, sandalwood, Virginia cedar, and then vanilla. So you get a lot of florals in here. There's lots of white florals. The most dominant one, according to Fragrantica, is neroli, which that is my favorite white floral, so that's really nice. But you also get jasmine in here, like I said, and tuberose. So this is gonna maybe come across a little bit fresh and powdery at the same time. There's also peach blossom in here, orchid, and rose. So you get a little bit more of these like powdery, jammier floral notes as well. But there's also some fruits in here and a little bit of sweet spices. So this does sound really nice. I imagine it's gonna be very fruity, very floral, maybe a little bit spicy, and maybe a little bit woody, who knows. Nonetheless, we're gonna do my first impressions. I'm gonna be spraying this here on my skin. I'll start here. Yeah, I don't have anything. I didn't wear anything today. I don't even know why I had to think about that, so. Okay, here we go. Okay, yeah, so this is very floral, but you know what's funny? I'm getting more orchid. Orchid has a very distinct smell to me. It's kind of nectary in a way. It has kind of this like honeyed nectar vibe to it. And that's definitely shining through. And things are kind of starting to settle down. It seemed a little bit kind of chaotic when I first started smelling it. Kind of seems like everything's mellowing out, settling down. You're getting these different layers. But to me, I'm getting a distinct orchid. And definitely kind of like an orangey smell as well. They did say there's orange in here. I'm definitely getting that. In this case, it is more of a sweet orange. I could almost believe it as like a mandarin orange because usually mandarin orange is on the sweeter side, still with like an orangey kind of nuance, very citrusy. That's what I'm kind of getting here as well. And like I said, the orchid is shining through, but it's almost giving me like a honeyed smell in a way. You know, it's floral, it's light, but there's kind of this syrupy sweetness to it as well. I'm getting a little bit, just very faint touches of kind of this like breezy metallic smell, which is probably coming from that violet leaf, not gasoline or like petrol smelling at all in this fragrance. And there is kind of this like fuzzy creaminess down under, probably coming from the musk and the sandalwood. It's adding kind of like a nice, almost like platform for everything to play off of. But like I said, there's kind of a creaminess to it in a way. I'm assuming that's coming from the sandalwood. And luckily I'm not getting a super heavy, like powdery, jammy kind of floral note going on here. That's usually typically the type of florals that I'm not a huge fan of. I like stuff that's fresher. You know, a little powderiness is okay for me. But I don't like stuff that's super in your face floral. And this one is, while it is floral, like I said, it's kind of on this fresher side, kind of has this honeyed smell to it. And Very, very appealing. Now, as far as like where I think this would lie, as far as traditionally feminine or traditionally masculine, I would say this is probably a little bit more on that feminine side, definitely. Very fresh, very uplifting. There's a prominent sweetness as well. It seems like it would be great for the time of year we're in right now, even though it is kind of sweet because everything is so light and airy and uplifting. This seems like a really awesome summertime scent, and I could actually see this as a vacation scent. While it doesn't smell tropical per se, there is kind of this fun vibe to it, kind of this going out and doing stuff, and I could just see somebody wearing this on like a tropical vacation and it working really well. So again, that was Penhaligon'S Orange Blossom. Okay, so now we're gonna be moving on to the other fragrance, which is the one that I was admittedly more excited for. Nonetheless, here's the bottle. Again, this is called the Duke. Now the notes for this one, this has a much simpler note breakdown. You have rose, pepper, gin, woody notes, and leather. So woody notes, this almost looks like the note breakdown of a traditional oud rose fragrance, except for that instead of oud, of course, you're getting these woody notes. There's also a boozy accord, some spices. So this seems like it could be done really well if they executed it correctly. So we're gonna have to wait and see. Actually, one unique thing with this bottle I'm noticing is this has a lot more heft to it, and it's actually a 75 milliliter size. So you get a little bit less juice, but the bottle just seems a lot denser, more hefty, and it just feels better in the hand. So I really like that a lot. We're gonna be spraying this one here on my right wrist. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh, wow, this is so beautiful. Okay, so this one seems a little bit more decidedly masculine. Well, I think this one is definitely unisex, just like any fragrance really can be. I think this is more on that masculine side, at least traditionally. So you can definitely get the rose here. The rose is very dominant, but not like in your face, super jammy, heavy floral. This is like a darker, more dry rose, if that makes any sense. It almost smells, I feel like I've smelled a rose similar to this before, but I'm not really able to think of a fragrance that it's reminding me of. But it smells familiar, not overly jammy or powdery, which was one thing I was a little bit hesitant about, just because, like I've said this before, rose is not my favorite floral notes. I'm actually kind of hit or miss with rose. It has to be done correctly. In this case, I think it is done pretty well. There is definitely that gin there. It adds this kind of like cooling freshness in a way with maybe a touch of sweetness, but it's not like a harsh, like screechy booziness, you know, where it's very alcoholic and harsh. Like I said, you know, it's a lot smoother. Adds this nice fresh side to the fragrance. The rose here is done very well. There is kind of a spiciness to this, and I can see the woodiness. It's a very clean wood, maybe a little bit on that drier side, almost like what you would think of as like a cedar note. I'm not really getting much leather at all. If there's leather in here, maybe it's in the dry down and it's very mellow, but just from initial opening right here, I'm not getting a ton of it. And I actually am getting like reminders of something, and I'm trying to think of what that could be. I just figured it out. This is giving me similar vibes to Creed Royal Mayfair. Not the exact same, but I'm getting a very similar vibe. And actually, if I think about it, gin, rose, and woody notes, you have all of those in Royal Mayfair. You might even have black pepper in Royal Mayfair as well. I'm not 100% positive about that, but I know rose, gin, and then woody notes are in Royal Mayfair. So this does smell quite similar, but definitely standalone at the same time. I'm getting a little bit more of that dry woodiness in this fragrance, not so much of that like medicinal eucalyptus style of note, which you get in Royal Mayfair. Really nice, really well done rose, a little bit of spiciness, like I said, that fresh booziness that's not harsh at all, and a nice dry woodiness as well. So that's all I really have to say about it in these first impressions, but it smells absolutely fantastic. This is definitely my favorite of the two in this video. Well, there you guys go. That was my first impressions of two fragrances from Penhaligon'S, Orange Blossom, and then the Duke. I hope you guys enjoyed these first impressions, and if you did, or if you found them helpful or useful, I would really appreciate dropping a like just to show your support, and then that way more people can see my videos on YouTube. Additionally, if you want to write a comment, maybe just letting me know your thoughts, as well as some new video ideas or topics, that would be great too. And since you're down there doing all that stuff, if you've not already, if you could hit the subscribe button and then the bell notification, that would be amazing. That way you stay up to date on new videos whenever they get released going forward. But with all that out of the way, that's all I really have for you guys today. So I hope you have a good one. Stay healthy, stay wealthy, and smell great.